wanted a theme. Shakespeare, of course, covers many themes. Murder, death, destruction, love, jealousy, hate, power, sovereignty, death. Lots of death. Lots of death. And so we picked a theme which was insults and injuries. And so we have a selection of a number of different ways we're doing in a reader's theater tonight. And so, with your kind attention, we shall begin. How like a mouse this wooden closure stack. Walls, its cheeks, its tongue. The actors play.
But what for teeth? Why, curtains cut the strands, and with each scene doth chew the play away.
At night, it came. Its rumblings filled the hall. At yon, 'tis full of feuding arguments. Come time to rhyme, and practice couplets crawl along the lines the playwright pen hath best. This mind potential doth you, Q, ignite, enunciate the havoc, out of control. You witnessing can burn a brighter light than singly possible alone and small.
How like a mouse?
Exhaling vital breath. And you breathe it in. Help truth, cheat, death.
Shakespeare is a pragmatic poet.
What light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you, my heart flied at your service.
He was also writer of other things, terrifying things, as in
Macbeth. Oh, is this a dagger I see before me?
the handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee!
Help me not. Yet I see thee still.
King Claudius from Hamlet. When sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First your father slain, next your son gone, and he the most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddy, thick and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers for good Polonius' death. And we have done but greenly hugger-mugger to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are pictures or mere beasts.
From King Lear, as the king's mind breaks like a storm. Oh, winds! And crack your cheeks, rage, howl! You cataracts and hurricanes! Spout till you have drenched our steeples, drown the cocks, you sulphurous and thought-executing fires! Both couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head! Now, all shaking thunder, smite flat the thick rotundity of the world! Crack nature's mold, then German spill at once, that making grateful man.
In about 38 plays, Shakespeare takes us through the range of human experience. Desire, despotism, and death. Oh yes, death. And love. And death.
Death by drowning, Richard III in a vat of Bolmsey, and Ophelia in Hamlet in a creek.
Death in battle. Hotspur in King Henry IV, Part 2, Part 1.
Macbeth, killing
Lots of people.
I was thinking about his introduction, where
Poor brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brander steel, which smoked with bloody execution like valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements.
So much! Oh,
So much war,
so many insults.
injuries and insults.
You have been at a great feast of languages and stolen the scraps. Any more of your conversation would infect my brain.
You have heads with more hair than wit.
I will not undergo this sneak without reply.
Farewell, sour Illinois.
Your speech is like a tangled chain, nothing impaired but all disordered. You breathe in vain.
You are like a toad, ugly and venomous. Incivility, thou seemst so empty. I have a mind to strike the air thou speakst.
What a fool art thou, a ramping fool, to brag and stamp and swear the most infectious pestilence upon thee.
Oh, that's just mean.
Shakespeare commands all forms: order, chaos, love, hate, jealousy, transformation, sovereignty, praise and romance, bravery and treachery, bearing of the soul, and blaring of trumpets.
Once more under the breach, dear friends,
Henry!
once more!
Henry V, the battle of Haslo.
The hurly-burly's hot, the fighting fierce, there is no way that does not end in death. In bloody fire and sour explosions, roar! You get the groove and it just rolls.
Bloody fire, death, maelstrom, confusion, volcano. Henry V,
Henry V of Park Floor. Speech, Act 3, Scene 3. Once more under the breach, dear friends, once more! Or close the wall up with our English dead. In peace, there's nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage. Then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the portrait of the head like a brass cannon. Let the brow o'erwhelm it as fearful as doth a gullet rock or hang the juggy his confounded base, swilled with the wild and wasteful ocean. Stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On, on, you noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof. Fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood and teach them how to war. And you, good yeomen whose limbs were made in England, show us here the metal of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit. And upon this charge, cry God for Harry, England, and St. George!
Great unstained battle. England's King Henry challenges the men of the besieged French town of Harfleur. Yet, how resolves the governor of the town? This is the latest power we will admit. Therefore, to our best mercy give yourselves. For like men's vow for destruction, defy us to our worst. For as I am a soldier, the name that in my thoughts becomes me best, if I begin the battery once again, I will not leave the half-achieved Harfleur, till in her ashes she lie buried. The gates of mercy shall be all shut up to the fleshed soldier, rough and hard of heart, with conscience wide as hell, mowing like grass your fresh, fair virgins and your flowering infants. What is it then to me, if impious war, arrayed in flames like to the prince of fiends, to with his smirched complexion all fell feet, in link to waste and desolation? What is to me, when you yourselves are cause, if your pure maidens fall into the hand of hot and forcing violation?
What brain can hold licentious wickedness when down the hill he holds his fierce career? We may as boon spend our vain command upon the enraged soldiers in their spoil and send precepts to the Leviathan to come ashore. Therefore, you man of Harfleur, take pity on your town and on your people, whilst yet my soldiers are in my command, whilst yet the cool and temperate wind of grace o'erblows the filthy and contagious clouds of heady murder, spoil, and villainy. If not, why in a moment look to see the blind and bloody soldier with foul hand, the sire of the locks of your shrill, shrieking daughters, your fathers taken by the silver beards, and their most reverend heads dashed to the walls. Your naked infants spitted upon pikes, while the mad mothers with their howls confused to break the clouds and sit the wives of Jewry at Herod's bloody hunting slaughter man. What say you? Will you yield in this avoid, or guilty in defense be thus destroyed?
Battles inspire great
Patriotism,
fear.
hate,
Speeches.
and lines. King Richard III, evil, murderous, grasping. At Bosworth Field, he is losing. His horse is gone. Yes, that horse.
My kingdom for a horse! And then he dies in the next scene. He is buried underneath a parking lot.
The parking lot comes later.
Oh,
But not all histories have battles, or even sword fights. In Richard III -1,
Richard II.
there is a great build-up to a duel between Mowbray and Bolingbroke, who would later become Henry IV.
Henry IV in 2 parts.
Mowbray and Bolingbroke swear to God and heaven each their rights and innocence, that the other is a traitor, and that fight shall make right the knowledge who speaks true. But after lots of speaking, rhyming, armoring, and getting ready to harm, the king banishes both. Not a single blow falls.
All that, no bloodshed. What, did I just pay a penny for no blood?
And then there are insults before going to war, and going to war to avoid love. All's well that ends well. What a mess. Helen loves Bertram for no good reason.
Love and reason to keep a little company together nowadays.
Bertram runs off. Helen follows. Bertram tries seducing another woman.
Bad trick!
And Helen slides into the other woman's place and...
What do you mean I just slept with my wife? Dang!
Love slippers lost. Now it takes taming a shrew. Problematic, to be certain, but full of good insults, inarguably.
Hey, when the special thing is love of Kate and that the love of Catalina, that is all in all.
Why, that is nothing. For I tell you, Father, I am as peremptory as she proud-minded, and where two raging fires meet together, they do consume the thing that feeds their fury. So that the fire goes free. The extreme gust will blow out fire and all. So I do to her, and so she deals to me. For I am rough, and move not like a babe.
Well, mayest thou woo, and happy be thy speed, but be thou armed for some unhappy words.
I to the proof, as mountains are for winds that shake not, though they blow perpetually. Now by the world it is a lusty way. I love her 10 times more than e'er I did. Oh, how I long to have some chat with her. I really tend her here, and woo her with some favor. Say that she rails. I'll say she speaks as sweet as any nightingale. Say she frowns. I'll say she looks as clear as morning rosebuds newly washed with dew. Say she be mute and will not speak a word. Then I'll commend her volubility and say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she do bid me pack, I'll give her thanks as well as she bid me stay by her a week. If she deny to wed, I'll crave the day when I shall ask the bands and when to be married. But here she comes, and now, Petruchio, speak. Tomorrow, Kate, that's your name, I hear.
Well, have you heard? It's something hard of hearing. Did you call me Catalina? Did you
speak of me?
You lie in faith, for you are called Plain Kate and Bonny Kate, and sometimes Kate the Curse. Kate the Prettiest, Kate the Christmas. Kate of Kate Hall, my super dainty Kate, for dainties are all Kates, and therefore here this of me, Kate, my consolation. Hearing thy mildness praised in every town, thy virtue spoke of, and thy beauty sounded, though not so deeply as to belong. Myself am moved to woo thee for my wife.
Move! In good time. Let him that moved you hither remove you hence. I knew you at first you were immovable.
Why? What's a move?
A joined stool.
Oh, thou hast hit it, come. Sit on me.
Asses are made to bear, so are you.
Women are made to bear, and so are you.
No such chain as you, me you mean.
Alas, good Kate, I will not burden thee, for knowing thee to be but young and light.
Too light for such a swaying as you to catch, and yet as heavy as my weight should be.
He should buzz.
Well tamed like a buzzard.
Oh, slow-winged turtle, shall a buzzard take thee?
I for a turtle, and he takes a buzzard.
Come, come, you wasp. In faith, you are too angry.
If I be waspish, wear my skin.
My remedy is then to pluck it out.
I, the fool, can find where it lies.
No, it's not where a wasp receives a sting. His tail.
In his tongue.
Whose tongue?
Yours! If you talk of tails, well, so farewell.
What, with my tongue in your tail? Hey, good Kate, I'm a gentleman.
That I'll try.
I swear I'll cut you strike again.
So, may you lose your arms. If you strike me, you are no gentleman. And if no gentleman, why then no arms?
Ah, Harold Kate! Oh, put me in thy foot.
What's your crest, a cock's comb?
So was cock, so Kate will be my
No
head.
cock of mine, you crow too like a craven.
Nay, come, Kate, come. You must not look so
It is
sour.
my fashion when I see a crab.
There's no crab, and therefore look not sour.
There is.
Then show it me.
Had a glass, so I would.
Oh, you mean my face?
Well aimed for such a young one.
Now, by St. George, I am too young for you.
You yet are withered.
Pears.
I care not.
They hear you, Kate, in sooth. You skate not so.
I chain you. If I tarry, let me go.
Oh, not a whit. I find you passing gentle. 'Twas told me you were rough and coy and sullen, and now I find report a very liar, or loud. Pleasant games of passing courteous, though slow and sweet, yet sweet as springtime flowers. Thou canst not frown, thou canst not look askance, nor bite the lip as angry wenches will, but nor hast thou pleasure to be cross in talk, but thou with mildness entertains thy wooers, with gentle conference soft and affable. Why does the world report that Kate doth limp? Oh, slanderous world! Kate, like the hazel twig, is straight and slender, and as brown nut as hazelnuts and sweeter than the kernels. Oh, let me see thee walk. Thou dost not fall.
Go, fool, in whom thou keepst command.
Did ever Diane so become a grove? As Kate, this chamber with her princely gate. Oh, be thou Diane, and let her be Kate, and then let Kate be chaste. And Diane, sportful,
Where did you study all this good speech?
is extempore from my mother wit.
A witty mother else witness her son.
Am I not wise?
Yes, keep you warm.
Very, so I mean, sweet Catherine, in thy bed. Therefore, setting all this chat aside, your father has consented that you shall be my wife, your dowry agreed on, and will you, I will marry you. Now, Kate, I am a husband for your turn. For by this light wherein I see thy beauty, like thee well, thou must be married to no man but me, for I am he, and born to tame you, Kate, to bring you from a wild Kate to a Kate conformable as other household Kates. Here comes your father, never make denial. I must and will have Catherine to my wife.
Now, Signor Petruchio, how speak you with my daughter?
Albert well, sir, Albert well. It were impossible I should see it amiss.
Merchant of Venice, classed as a comedy. What is funny, not.
In Merchant of Venice, Shylock speaks of equality and revenge. Pound of flesh. What good is that? Big fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me $500,000. Laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, fooled my friends, cheated mine enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Not a June flies. It's not a June hands, organs, dimensions, sex, session, affections, passions, fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapon, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is. If you prick us, do we not believe? If you tickle us, do we not die? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrongs a Christian, what does he say? Humility. Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why, revenge. The villainy teaching and words, it shall go far. I will better instruction.
It does not go as planned, Shylock. Kimberly, one of the Roman plays not set in Rome, takes place in Britain long ago. One of the battles is between the son of the queen, a miserable but well-named Clotten,
Rhymes with rotten.
they mean for a reason.
And an unknown to himself as born nobleman, Darius.
Soft, what are you that fly me thus? Some villain, not nears, I have heard of such, but slave, art thou?
Thing more slavish did I ne'er than answering a slave without a knock.
Thou art a robber, a lawbreaker, a villain. Yield thee, thief.
To who? To thee? What art thou? Have not I an arm as big as thine, a heart as big? Thy words I grant are bigger, for I wear not my dagger in my mouth. Say what thou art, why should I yield to thee?
Thou, villain base, knowest me not by mine.
No, nor thy tailor rascal, who was thy grandfather. He made those clothes and gave them thee. Thou art some fool, I am loath to beat thee.
Well, precious varlet, my tailor made them not.
Hence them, and thank the man that gave them thee. Thou art some fool.
Thou injurious thief, hear but my name and tremble.
What's thy name?
Clotten, thou villain.
Oh, what now double villain? By thy name I cannot tremble as if it were toad or adder, spider, would move me more.
Thou, to thy further fear, nay, to thy near confusion, shall know that I am son to the queen.
Oh, I am sorry for it. Not so worthy as thy birth.
Art thou feared?
Those that I reverence, those I fear. The wise. At fools I laugh, not fear them.
Die the death. And when I have slain you with my proper hand, I'll follow those that even now fled hence and on the gates of Bloodstown. Set your heads. Yield, rustic mountaineer.
This Clotten was a fool, an empty purse. There was no money in it. Not Hercules could have knocked out his brains, for he had none. Yet I not doing this, the fool had borne my head as I do his.
One of the final plays penned by Shakespeare is interesting, has an original plot, and is set in a contiguous time. The action takes place in order. This is called The Tempest. It speaks of colonialism, oppression, magic, love, and revenge. Turn to a new day's washing away of old injuries, but not quite yet. Prospero, the magician, speaks with one of his magical servants, Ariel.
Ariel, I charge exactly as before, but there's more work. What is the time of the day?
Past the mid-season.
At least 2 glasses. The time twixt 6 and now must buy us both pence to be spent most preciously.
Is there more toil? Since thou dost give me pain, let me remember thee what thou hast promised, which is not yet formed me.
Now, moody, what dost thou canst demand?
My liberty.
Before the time be out, no more.
I prithee remember, I have done thee worthy service, told thee no lies, made thee no mistakings, served without a grudge or grumbling. Thou didst promise to bait me a full year.
Dost thou forget from what a torment I did free thee?
No.
Thou dost. Thinks it much to tread the ooze of the salt deep, to run upon the sharp wind of the north, to do me business in the veins of the earth when it is baked with frost.
I do not, sir.
Thou liest, malignant thing. Hast thou forgot the foul witch Sycorax, who with age and envy was grown into a who? Hast thou forgot her?
No, sir.
Thou hast. Where was she born? Speak, tell me.
Sir, in Algiers.
Was she so? I must once in a month recount what thou hast been, which thou forgetst. This damned witch Sycorax, from mischiefs manifold and sorceries terrible to enter human hearing, from Algiers, thou knowest, was banished. For one thing she did, they would not take her life. Is this not true?
Aye, sir.
This blue-eyed hag was hither brought with child, and here was left by the sailors. Thou, my slave, as thou reports thyself, said her servant. For thou wast a spirit too delicate to act her prison and afford commands, refusing her grand hests. She did confine thee by help of her most potent ministers, and in her most unmitigable rage into a cloven thigh, within which rift and crazy thou didst painfully remain a dozen years, within which time she died and left thee there. Where thou didst vent thy groans as fast as mill wheels strike. Then was this violent, save for the son that she did let her hear, a freckled, well hag-born, not honored with a human shape.
Yes. Caliban, her son.
Dull thing, I say so. He, that Caliban, whom now I keep in service. Thou thus knowest what torment I did find thee in. Thy groans did make wolves howl, and penetrate the breasts of ever angry bears. It was a torment to lay upon the damned, which Sycorax could not undo again. It was mine art when I arrived and heard thee, that made gape the pine and let thee out.
I thank thee, master.
If thou murmurest more, I will rend and oak and take thee in his naughty entrails, till thou hast howled away 12 winters.
Pardon, master. I will be correspondent to command and do my spiriting gently.
Do so. And after 2 days, I will discharge thee.
Oh, that's my noble master. What shall I do? Say what? What shall I do?
To make thyself like a nymph of the air. Be subject to no sight but mine and thine, invisible to every eyeball else. Go, take this shape, and hither come in. Go hence with diligence.
There are many more examples of insults and injuries. Death, dismemberment, distasteful demise. But as in life, there's also hope, love, kindness, bravery, and beauty.
There's cruelty, redemption. There is kindness. There is good.
So for now, be at peace. And from A Midsummer Night's Dream, which has its own share of insults and injuries within, take solace from Puck's last speech. If we shadows have offended,
Think that this and all is new,
that you have but slumbered here, whilst these visions did appear.
and this weak and idle theme no more yielding but a dream.
Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest Puck,
If we have unearned luck,
now to escape the serpent's tongue,
we will make amends ere long.
else the Puck will liar call.
And so, good night to you all.
Give us your hands if we be friends.
And Robin shall restore amends.
Congratulations to the home! Cameras, thank you. Your good applause sign present. This demonstration, and we'll be putting up the video of this online, as well as many of our other videos exploring Shakespeare and new works, etc., music, etc. Please feel free to take a part. Thank you.